High as hell when I'm in the clouds. That's that space shit. Elevated, I'm hella faded.
Hey y'all, welcome back to Divine Destiny. It is February 9th, and this is going to be another pick a card. I had a really great suggestion for a pick a card, and when I saw it, I got super excited because it just seems really, really unique and cool. So it's going to be what your future children will be like. And I was really, really excited to see this because I think it's just a really, really cool topic, and I think it can go so many different ways. All right, so if you're not familiar with how this works, basically you have three choices. You can pick one, you can pick two, you can pick all three, whatever you're kind of drawn to want to stick around and listen to. I'll have the timestamps for each card pile down in the comments below. So I will be quiet for a little bit. You take a deep breath and just kind of focus on whatever pile you want to focus in on. And that's really it. If it resonates, great. If it doesn't, don't worry about it. Thank you so, so much for suggesting this. Thank you for everyone who's commenting and really sharing everything with me. I'm so blown away with just the kindness and the wonderful energy and just everyone just letting me know about themselves and their life and just kind of their story. I really like seeing everyone's journey so far. So, all right. Thank you so much for commenting, liking, sharing. If you're not subscribed, please subscribe and get the notifications going so you can see when I upload. All right, I'm gonna be quiet now. So just deep breath and pick whatever pile you want. All right, good luck. Hey, pile number one. All right. Okay. I'm excited about today's. This is a really, really cool, cool reading. All right, so it's gonna be what are my future kids gonna be like, or future child gonna be like? Thank you if you were the one that suggested it. I can't even talk today. Suggested it. It was a really, really neat one. I planned on doing a video yesterday, but the night before I had my mom and my grandfather both ended up going to 2 different hospitals. It was like absolutely a mess. So I was really not in a condition to do any kind of a reading, and I'm not going to. If I'm in a, I feel like I'm not going to be giving a good, a clear, because that happens, when you read. It's the worst time to try to read tarot cards is when you're your energy's elsewhere, you know what I mean? You're really super needing an answer in a certain way. And it's just there's certain times you don't read tarot cards. And a lot of readers will tell you that. They'll tell you that there are certain times that they just can't read because it'll influence the energies of the reading. So there was really no way that I was going to be doing a reading yesterday after everything that happened. They're okay. So they should be all right. So I feel much better now. I can do the readings. Pile number one. Oh my gosh. I feel your pain because my daughter, just looking at the cards so far, just like my daughter. Oh my gosh. So I feel for you. You're definitely going to be on your toes quite a bit. Yeah. Sorry to tell you. Now, these kind of kids, though, they are so much fun. My daughter is all over the place. She's hell on wheels, but let me tell you, I have a blast with her. We have so much fun together. Okay. All right, so I'll start with this one because I don't know. It's Page of Fire. Page of Fire in the regular tarot is the Page of Wands. He is... Uh-oh. Here? I don't know if you can hear. Ha. Page of Wands is very energetic. He's very adventurous, mischievous. I know that if it's quiet for too long around my house, like if that's not going on, somebody's getting in trouble. I know it. Like because it's so not normal at my house to have that much quiet. So if there's quiet going on, somebody somewhere is clogging the sink. They're maybe cutting all their hair off in a closet somewhere. Seriously, this is the stuff that goes on with these kind of kids. All right, my son, angel. Like he was all like, not that he didn't do some like ridiculous things a couple times, but like they're very rare things. My daughter, it's weekly. She does stuff like that. My son, like there's maybe 2 or 3 times in his entire like young, he's almost 12 now, so like his young childhood that was like super like, oh my God. Like one time he stuffed a peanut up his nose. Oh my God. I was crying because every time I would go and I would try to like grab it out of his nose, it would like shoot up into his nose more. So I was thinking, oh my God, he's gonna have peanut in his brain. It's going to be horrible. I have to go to the doctor, the hospital, so they're going to have to pull his peanut out of his brain. It's going to be horrible. It's going to be all stuck in there. I was like frantic because every time, like I even had tweezers. I was trying to use tweezers to get this peanut out of his nose. And every time I would like, it would just like graze it a little bit and it would shoot up in his nose more. Most horrific. But, you know, that's like one of the few things he did. He did that. He also stuffed bread in his ear hole one time. That was... I don't know. But that's really all he did. He shoved a bunch of raisin boxes into my VCR and broke it. Like little tiny square raisin boxes. A couple of them fit perfectly. I think it's like, I forget, like 3 or 4 of them. He shoved in there like a cassette tape. Broke it. But that's it for him. Faith, it's a weekly occurrence with her, which she's doing this kind of stuff. Seriously. But for all the mischievous, kind of sneaky things that they get into, they are some of the most creative, imaginative, outgoing, just confident kids you could ever have. They really, everything's exciting to them. And it doesn't matter if they want to do it, if it doesn't matter to do it, they're going to do it with flamboyance. You know, whether she likes it or she doesn't, you're going to know about it with my daughter. Like, there's no, yeah, there's no sugarcoating anything with her. Like, she either likes something or she doesn't, and she'll let you know. They like adventures. They really are adventurous kids. They like to, they're not the kids that you can just, you'd be like, take my word for it, you know, like, because I said so. That doesn't fly with these kids at all. They want to experience things, whether it means that they're going to do something and probably regret it or be upset about it. They want to learn the lesson. They want to experience. These kids like to experience things. They like to take action. They like to feel movement. They're very physical children. I got my daughter, she's been in gymnastics for a while now. She's just turned 4. And I mean, it's a perfect, you know, outlet for her because she can be so active and a little bit dangerous at the same time, you know. They have her up on these gigantic beams and things, and it's like, to watch, it's kind of scary, you know. As a mom, I'm always like, what? She's, you know, but she loves it, and she does really well at it because it gives her an outlet for that. She's also going to be getting into soccer this season. She's finally old enough for that. These kids need that. They need physical outlets to kind of channel their energy because they have so much of it. And I'm you know, I'm a lot like this. You know, this is how I know my daughter is like this because I'm a lot like this myself. You know, technically I'm Queen of Wands, you know, Leo energy. So I do as well. I like to have things I have to physically do, you know, to get a lot of, whether it's, you know, exercise or it's doing stuff outside or, you know, those kind of things like that. Those are outlets for me to, you know, express myself and to feel better, because you get so much energy built up inside of you. It's almost like you have to let it out. And that's how they are. These kids are very, they're just exciting. They're original. My daughter, and this is the one thing that, like, I wish more parents would do. I get so many weird looks from people, and I think it's hysterical. I let my daughter dress however she wants to. A week ago, she went to the store dressed as Queen Elsa, like head to toe, full getup, like she was going to a theater or something. But she's original. She's expressing her, you know, her creativity. I think that's never something to dull in a kid, okay? These kind of kids, they're going to want to dress how they want to dress. And I mean, unless it's like a hazard to them dressing like that, like it's 10 below 0 outside and they want to wear, you know, a swimsuit, let them express themselves. You know, everybody's style is different, and I don't see, you know, the point of me telling her, you have to wear this. She wants to wear something. It's clothes, which is already ahead of the game because most of the time she wants to be naked still at 4. So if she's trying to wear clothes, thank you. That's fine. That's fine with me. Doesn't matter what kind of clothes it is, as long as clothes. And she'll wear some stuff. I mean, absolutely adorable. Just, oh my gosh, mismatched and just out there, but just really cool, really creative. I don't think that's ever anything parents should ever stifle in a kid's creativity. It might be because I was a teacher for so long, but I don't think there's anything wrong with a kid dressing, you know, to suit themselves. I think that's very important in kids. They're also very, they're very able to get things done, even if they have to resort to doing things in a way that you probably wouldn't have thought of doing. And they're quick about it. They're like little ninjas. Like my daughter, she'll somehow, in the time it takes me to switch like a load of laundry over, she'll somehow get a stool and like climb the cabinets, and like she's like having like a spider monkey in the house or something. And it's quick. These kids will, if they see something, you know, she learned that I would hide things on top of the fridge, you know. So she learned one day that if she goes up there, like all the things that I've taken are up on the fridge. And she learned a way to get up there, and I come out, I'm like, and she's grabbing all her stuff down, you know. They will do whatever they need to do to get what they want. Which, again, like, you have to think about it, it's kind of, as long as it's not like underhanded and like, you know, mean, malicious ways, creative ways of getting the job done, I think that's something wonderful. You know what I mean? Like, so it's really difficult to be a parent to these type of kids. So if you are, you know, congratulations, because you really have to be a certain kind of person to have these children. These children that are coming in, I don't know if you've noticed, but they're a lot different in a lot of ways than the children prior to this. And they're choosing to come in with parents who are a certain type of way. So if, you know, that's the kid you're getting, then congratulations, you must be pretty awesome, because you must be very patient. Okay? You do have to be very, in a way, able to, like, everyone, you know, gets upset and blows up and has their little moments, but I mean, with these kids, you really have to, you have to stay on your toes that way. And they'll keep you on your toes. There's never, like, from the look, she just dumped something out right now. From the moment she wakes up until the time her eyes close and she's asleep, there's something going on with her. Yeah. Constantly. So, good luck. but it's never a dull moment, ever. And if there's somebody that really, you know, my son, he's so mellow, like he really has to be in the mood to want to go places and do things anymore. Like he's like, no, I'd rather just chill at home. But my daughter, like yesterday, I was picking up, I had to go get my grandfather medicine. He just got out of the hospital. So I dropped it off to get filled, and Faith was with me, and I'm like, well, we got 20 minutes. What do you want to go do? So we took a ride, and we ended up down by the river. We do that a lot. And we'll open, like, I have like a moon roof that goes like the whole length of my car. So we open that up, we'll like kind of stick our heads up and look, and we actually got to see dolphins yesterday in the river. So it was really cool to see, but like she's always down. She's like my buddy that way. Like she's like my like little adventure buddy. She'll always be down to do something like that. You know, anytime I'm like, hey, let's go do blah, blah. And I do that a lot. Like I know her like, let's do such and such. She's always like, okay. She's always ready to go with me and have fun doing something. My son, sometimes he just doesn't. He just wants to chill. He's very mellow most of the time. Very, very cool. Three of Earth. Three of Earth is wonderful. This is a wonderful quality to have. Not only are they very creative, this would be Three of Pentacles in Rider-Waite Tarot. They are wonderful working in group scenarios. So not only are they very self-sufficient and assertive on their own because of that Page of Fire energy, they're also very able to work in a group, in a community, you know, towards a common goal, which is very, very important. They know how to be a team player. They know, you know, kind of how to put their best into things, you know, and if they're going to be a part of something, a part of the team, they always will put their best work forward. These are not, you know, kids that are just going to be like, oh, well, good enough, you know. No, these are not those kids. It will have to be something that they will be proud of, that they have a lot of integrity in their work. They have a lot of pride in their work. And they really do feel like if they let themselves down, they're letting not just themselves down, but their team down as well. So they really are very able to work in a collaborative kind of way with other people. And that, you know, is so important. I think a lot of people, like, it's wonderful and really great to be kind of on your own and able to do things independently. But so many times throughout your life, you know, there are times when you have to work with other people. You have to, whether you want to or not. You know, and sometimes it's the only way to really keep going in the direction you're trying to go is to work with other people. So this is a wonderful quality to naturally have. You know, I know, you know, it was always kind of like, oh, well, you don't want people to only be able to work in groups. And you're right, you know, you should have some, you know, self-sufficient qualities about you. But let me tell you, they have more than enough. They have some to spare, these kids, okay? Yeah, it's how I stayed looking so young. My daughter keeps me moving constantly. No, it's actually because I'm vegan. That's what keeps me looking young. Seriously. And because I'm pretty like my mama, if you're watching. I love you, Mom. And my sister, I love you too, darling. DarlingDTarot, everyone. Please go check my sister out. She's like almost to 7,000 subscribers. Okay, so if you're not subscribed to her, I'm trying to get her to announce it. Okay, if she hits 7,000 subscribers, she wants to get her dog a lobster costume. Now, I want to see it happen. So if you're not subscribed to my sister, please go subscribe to her because I need to see this happen. I love my little fur baby nephew, Bobo. I love him. So I would love to see him in a lobster costume. So you need to go do it. And go comment on like her things too. I'm subscribing for that lobster costume. Please do it. Okay, I'm not even kidding. Let her know we want this to happen. She's on my channel homepage. I have her as my featured channel. They really, these kids, and it's a great quality to have, and I really hope one that you never try to dull in them is there are no limits to what they think is possible. They really came into this life knowing that there really are no limitations for them. And it's a really incredible quality. It's an incredible quality to see being born into children. I was a teacher for a long time, like I said, and I really got to see almost how these children, it's like waves, how they're kind of being born with these different qualities about them. It's really incredible, like when you can see it happening. And so quickly over the last few years, like these certain types of children are coming in, and they are going to be the movers and the shakers, and they're the ones that, they're incredible. Like the gifts that these kids have just don't even, like the stuff I know I can do, they don't even have to work towards it. Nuts. These kids are absolutely crazy. Uh-oh. Where'd it go? There it is. So yeah, very creative, very just incredible. Tell them no. Go ahead and tell them no. They'll say, oh, you can't do it. They'll figure a way. And it'll probably come out amazing. Okay, so I haven't been drinking caffeine. I haven't had caffeine coffee in, I can't even remember, honestly, last time I had caffeine coffee. I used to drink coffee all the time, and then I stopped because I just, like, I felt like I was almost addicted to it, you know? And it wasn't that I was drinking a whole lot of it. You know, I'd have, like, one designated, like, for sure cup a day. But when I stopped drinking coffee, the headaches that I got, I did not believe that my body relied on caffeine so much. So this is actually, I have caffeine. I usually got, like, the decaf, no caffeine stuff, which was rare. I'd have, like, one decaf coffee like every other week just to get that taste, you know. I did like coffee. So I'm nervous to see what's going to happen here, because the only coffee I had was a caffeine coffee, and I've not had caffeine in so long. So I hope I don't get all, like, you know, anxious and stuff. That was another reason I stopped, because I had read that it actually can do a lot for anxiety, caffeine, you know. I mean, I'm usually, like, anyway, you know, I kind of vibrate at the frequency of a hummingbird most of the time, so caffeine really, I don't think, was helping me too much. Yeah, hummingbird life. All right. This is a great kid. Like, I want you to remember when they're cutting their hair and they're drawing in marker their masterpiece on your wall. Or my daughter got a hold of paint stain. This triggered, like, an actual meltdown for me. Like, I haven't had many of them, but this actually triggered a meltdown for me. I just moved into this beautiful house. All right, beautiful house. I got, you know, the baseboards and everything painted in this hallway. The hallway was finally done. Took me for, like, it looked beautiful. Oh my God, it looks so nice. Somehow, again, and I don't know how the hell she got it, got hold of my paint stain. And now stain is not like paint. For any of you who've not used it, it's not like paint. It's like super paint. So, and the more you try to wipe it, the worse it gets. And not only was it getting worse, it was ripping all the other paint that I had just put on the wall off the wall. So so times like that, you need to remember of all the wonderful qualities that these kids do have. Okay? Yeah, they do things like that, but they have these other qualities. And one of those qualities is Queen of Cups. Queen of Cups is very, she's emotional, she's fluid, you know, they're very, I know a lot of maybe like older people, you know, like would probably see it as they're just bratty, you know, they probably need to get smacked a little bit because they're bratty. They're not bratty. These kids come in knowing that they have emotions, a wide range of them, and it's okay to feel them. So do not, please, if you hear nothing else that I say to you about this kid, do not ever tell them it is not okay to feel a feeling that they're feeling at any given moment. I don't care how ridiculous it is. I don't care how much it doesn't make any sense. If they're upset, let them be upset. Okay? These type of children have to have emotional freedom. They have to be able to express themselves emotionally without repercussions, without being punished, without being told that what they're feeling isn't validated. That will ruin these children. You can't do that with these kind of kids. You can't. You shouldn't do that with any kind of kids. But these kids, that would be traumatic. Like, just, you can't. These kids work and live in a vibration that's very psychic. It's very emotionally bound, very intuitive. These kids need to be in touch with their feelings, in touch with their senses, and not just their feelings, you know, like their feelings, their body. They need to be able to feel. You know, these are very gifted kids. These kids can feel deeply, and they need to be able to cultivate that. Because if you cultivate that in these children, they will show you things you just wouldn't even believe. Okay? They're going to say things, they're going to see things, they're going to, you need to be able to really accept them. No matter where they are or what they're doing, you need to accept them. They have to have that. And I think that's why they're put with certain people. You know, why they choose to be born to certain people is because I think those people understand that, you know. Very intuitive. They will be able to read your mind. So you really need to be very loving and careful. But they're also very forgiving. You know, so don't feel like this is, you know, something completely, you know, out of your hands. Like every parent makes mistakes. You know, you do. It's a learning process. It's really, there's no manual for it. I don't care how many books have been written on it. Parenting is very learn as you go in a lot of ways. And it's hard. I know there's basics and stuff that they've figured out in psychology. I get it. I get it. But day-to-day, everyday parenting is very, it's learning. It's all about learning. You really, especially with these type of kids, you need to pick your battles carefully. Of course, this is with the Queen of Cups. Seven of Pentacles, they're daydreamers. They might, I mean, the good thing about them is they have that Page of Fire, so they will eventually, if they want something enough, they'll go do it. But they do have a tendency, and I think it's because they're just more comfortable living in kind of like a place they've created. You know, it's for very intuitive people, you know, myself included, sometimes it's nice to live places or visit places that are more vibrationally appealing to you. So, you know, instead of being in their room or in the living room, they're somewhere in some other dimension, or, you know, hanging out with somebody else. Like, that's where they technically are. You know, they may look like they're here, but they're not. And I think it really goes back to, you know, how it makes them feel. These kids do things for feelings. They really, for how things feel, the experience. So you need to allow them freedom. These are not the kids to kind of impose your own agendas on, you'll ruin them. These kids are being born this way for a reason, and it's not so we can fuck them up by changing them. These kids are being born exactly how they need to be on the planet right now. So our job is to not change them. Okay? It's to cultivate them. It's to nurture them. It's to maybe help them, you know, hone their gifts a little bit. You know, maybe you could introduce them. My daughter, she already, it's so cute. She does pendulum. She already does pendulum. She goes the other day. It was, oh my God, it was so cute. My mom was on the phone. And she thought it was adorable. Faith was in the room and she's practicing her pendulum and she goes, will Toys R Us be open today? And like, Toys R Us closed. You know, she keeps asking if she can go to Toys R Us. I'm like, will Toys R Us be open today? And she's asking, I was like, what did it say? And she's like, yes. It was so cute. And she'll grab, like, I'll let her look at my tarot cards and I'll ask her, you know, what do you think it means? And she'll tell me these amazing, you know, stories just built on the pictures she sees and how she feels. And those are the kinds of things that you need to do with these kids. If they go over and they want to do something like that, or if they show an interest in certain things, telepathy, or, you know, things like that, run with it, because it's a gift of theirs. You know, my kids are my son, he's learning tarot cards. He loves it. You know, these are things he's very, from a young age, he would tell me all about, you know, the lights he would see and, you know, the orbs and, like, the things he would talk to when he was, like, it was, he knew past lives. He knew, and these kind of kids, they are so cool. They're so cool, these kids. So if you see that kind of stuff emerge, embrace it, you know. But let it progress at a way that's natural for them. You don't want to be forcing anything on them. You don't want to be like I've never gone to my kids and be like, here, learn this. Like, they've always come to me, or like Faith just kind of picked up the pendulum. Like, she just started doing it, you know? All right. I have 2 cards left. I wanted to do one healing, like one thing that is very healing towards them. And then I also wanted to do a career card, because I figured, you know, what kind of areas might these kids be more inclined to go into? What would they do really well in? That kind of a thing. So we're going to do, since I picked up the healing card, excuse me, they got romance. Now, romance, it doesn't have to be, I mean, it could be that they choose a life that's really love-based, which is wonderful. A lot of the kids coming in, I think, are choosing this theme. Love is all you need, right? These kids are very hands-on, very physical. They like to feel loved. You know, I can tell you right now, these kids, they're going to want to hold your hand. They're going to want to sit on your lap. They're going to want to give you hugs for no reason. They're going to want to rub you. My son, he is going to be some kind of amazing healer one day. He can, and he knows, I don't have to say anything to him. He knows somehow if I have like a headache, or if I'm like just feeling off and I haven't even said anything to anybody, he'll come just up to me and he'll put his hands on my head. And I don't know what he does, but he does something and it instantly heals me. Like, he would be an incredible hands-on healer. My son, absolutely incredible. But, you know, these type of kids, and both of my kids are like this, these types of kids, they can heal. They can heal. They like to touch. You know, that's how they give and receive energy a lot of the times. You know, so you need to be very aware of how you're standing near them. If you're always very, you know, you don't want to be like that with these kids. You want to be open. You want to be like, that's how I'm usually sitting. I'm usually like, you know, everything's very open and relaxed, and that's what these kids need. They really need gentle, loving touch. It'll be very important to them. They like to feel that, you know, they're wanted. That they're meant to be there, that they're not a mistake, that they're, you know, the best thing that ever happened to you, that, you know, you're what, you know, saved them. Now, I had my son, I was young. I was 18, I got pregnant. You know, 19 when I had him, and I just, like, it's young to have a kid. It's scary. It's, you know, and I've told, he's the best thing that ever happened to me. Like, he really, you know, it's hard sometimes when you're young having a baby, because there's two choices. You know, you can either be a parent and, you know, man up and do it, you know, or you can kind of let the kid be somebody else's responsibility and continue growing and learning. And I'm not saying either way is better than the other, you know, because we all have our own experiences we have to experience, and maybe it was better for that kid to go somewhere else if you weren't in a position to love them enough. I don't judge anybody. You know, everybody has their own place they are. But I know for me, if I would have not chosen to be a mom and to do things the way I knew I needed to do, God only knows where I would have ended up, honestly. So, you know, he really was one of the best things that ever happened to me. So those are the kind of feelings that we need to be giving to these kids. You know, that they're wanted, they're needed, even if they weren't exactly planned for. They're exactly where they need to be. Very cool. So, you know, happy physical love, touch, that's going to be very important to them. That's going to be very healing to them. Okay? If they're upset, hug it out. They're going to be huggers. I'm a hugger, so that's pretty cool. All right. I hug people I don't know. Like, I don't care who you are, I'll give you a hug. I know some people aren't huggers. I'll give a hug. I don't care. Creative expression. See, these kids are going to be so creative. Artists, musicians. My son, music is... My daughter is more of the artist. Like, every painting art I have in my house, it's not by people, it's by my kids. The artwork hanging up on my walls in my house, most of it was done by my children. You know, because I figure, like, you know, I have masterpieces for free. Like, I don't have, and like nobody else, you can't go to like Walmart or Ross and buy my kids' paintings there. It's one of a kind, you know? So I got these free masterpieces, and like, they're very creative, so they're beautiful looking. People don't even realize. There's someone, they'll come and be like, oh, it's beautiful. I'll be like, yeah, my kids did it. Really? Yeah, for free. You know? It's just, I rather be surrounded by stuff that they make, because it's more personal. These kids are very creative. My son, he likes to do anything musical. Singing, drums, just beats, like any kind of music, that's him. My daughter loves to sing too, but she likes to paint. I don't know if you can see it. Sometimes it's at the detriment of her mother. Like, if you can see my toenails, they are completely covered in like glitter and thick nail polish. She did my toes this morning, so they're beautiful. She did such a good job. And I also have, I don't know if you can see, I have like, it's kind of sparkly. She put eyeshadow on me. But those are the things, she's very creative. She loves to do makeup. She likes to, you know, draw and paint. There's paint everywhere in my house all the time. She probably uses my easel and paints more than I do. She loves it. I know if I need, like, to have a few minutes dedicated, like, all I have to do is put a canvas and some paints. She's good to go. She's in heaven to sit and paint. So these kids, they need to be like that. They need to have creative outlooks. They need to be able to use their hands to do things. Even if it's just sitting them at the table. I'll put my kids at the table. Even my son does it. He's 12, basically. Shaving cream. you know, I'm not too old for shaving cream either. I think it's fun, you know. You put the shaving cream down and let them make pictures and stuff like that, and the house smells really good when you're done. You know, but those are all things that you need to have them do. You need to have them doing actual things, because it's really going to be the easiest way for them to express themselves. Because these kids operate in feelings. They operate in emotions. So that's how they need to be putting things out, is in that way as well. And music and art is probably the best way to express emotion. All right. Well, you sound like you have a really, really super great kid coming. Like, they definitely get along with my kids. So, congratulations. I'm going to be on to the next one now. I ran a bit longer than I thought it would, but I really wanted to be as detailed as possible. Thank you so much for watching this long. If you really did make it through the whole 40 minutes, that's incredible. If you like this, if it resonated, if you do think that this could be a kid that, you know, might eventually pop into your life because you see yourself in a little bit, let me know. You know, I love hearing that these things resonate with you guys. I love hearing that, you know, we kind of get each other. I love going on and seeing that subscriber list go up, because I feel like it's really building my own little tribe. And I'm so happy to be having that go on right now. I'm so happy to meet all of you wonderful people. So thank you, thank you, thank you. If you haven't subscribed, please do that. If you have any ideas for a pick a card, you need to subscribe to give me any ideas. I'm going to do subscriber ideas. So subscribe, like, comment, let me know. Have a good day. All right, bye. Sorry. Okay. All right. All right. Are you ready to see what kind of kids you're going to have? I am. The first one was super cool. First one was just like my kid. All over the place. Mischievous. But absolutely adorable and gifted. So, can't complain too much, right? Right. Ooh. All right. We'll start with this one. The Sun. The Sun is such a beautiful card. It's actually the same name in the regular tarot. The Sun card. Sun is ruled by Leo. So, since I'm pointing that out, maybe your kid might actually be a Leo. Perhaps. They're very happy children. They're very bubbly. They're very, just the kind of kids that you see them when they're, you know, have you ever asked a kid or a person like, well, what kind of kids were they when they were little? Oh, they were angels. They were the best kids ever. You know, that's these kids. These kids are very, like my son. My son was like, you could put him somewhere and he was just happy. Just happy. For no reason. Just happy. Always in a good mood. I mean, I actually had to go and, go check him manually, every hour, because he would never even say anything if he was wet, or, I would have to go every hour and be like, oh, it's been an hour, I'm going to go check him. Because he wouldn't even care. He would just sit in it. You know, it is you know, but he was always content. Not even crap in his pants mattered to him. He was just always, and he still is a really super chill kid. You know, he's almost 12 now, so he's still just very chill all the time. My daughter, sometimes I think, you know, when she opens her eyes in the morning, as she rolls over, she makes the decision on what kind of a day it's going to be. And so help you God, it's not a good decision, because holy shit, she... Yeah, they couldn't be more different. They really couldn't. Your kid is my first kid. Very just happy. Happy-go-lucky. You know, they might fall down. Oh, I'm okay. You know, just very, very happy. So happy all the time. The sun card is usually filled with a lot of sunflowers. Not so much on this one, but in a lot of the tarot, regular tarot decks, they have sunflowers. And sunflowers are very optimistic. They're very sunny. They're confident. That's another Leo trait. They have almost this just subtle confidence that they kind of exude to people around them, even if they don't at times always believe they're confident. You know, there are plenty of times that I really, you know, if it wasn't for just, you know, my natural, how I appear to people, you know, there's been times I've been not confident, you know, and it's, people are usually really like, really? Like, you're not always confident? No, I'm not. You know, these are the kind of people that really have that even when they don't feel it. They have that in them. They're very successful. They're going to be a very successful person. And it's because of just their demeanor, their inner brightness. They really have this, just this way of looking at things that really kind of bring about positive outcomes. And it might be because they're able to always look on the bright side. It might be because they always, no matter how bad things are, they probably will look towards a brighter future, which is a really great quality to have. I see them going, they like to go to different things. They might pick up one thing and practice it, and then they'll pick up something else and practice it and pick up something else. They're going to like float from things to things, almost like a butterfly doing things. You know, they'll pick something up and see how much they like it, and then maybe they'll try something else for a little bit. Maybe they'll come back to that thing. They're just very, I heard flighty, but I don't think flighty and like a scared, gonna run away. I just like, they just like to do what they like to do. You know what I mean? If they're, you know, a social butterfly, if they're a bit of a social butterfly, they hang out with everyone. They really don't have like a clique or a set group. These are the type of people that can be thrown into any situation with any kind of people, and they'll come out with a new friend. You know, they're really very generous, very warm, very loving. Again, that Leo energy that is just very inviting. You know, you feel, Leos will make you feel very comfortable. They'll make you feel very accepted and warm and just loved. You know, we love to love people. We love to make them feel good. And that's how they are. So, I mean, even if it's not a Leo, just that fire energy. So Sagittarius, Aries, also could be seen there. Nine of Air is the Nine of Swords. And Nine of Swords, typically, I wonder if I could find it to show you. Let me see if I can. This will be something that I think you'll have to watch. Not that it's a bad thing, okay? But I think they're very, you know how like in the Sun card, they're very positive. The outcomes are always positive because they're positive. It can go the other way as well. And I'm going to see if I can find it real quick to show you. There's a reason. There's always a reason. No matter how out of nowhere I am. Random, right? Oh, ooh, here's the Sun card. See? Look at the happy baby. See how bright and sunny that is? It's such a wonderful card. I love it. All right, let's see. That's 8. 10. Where the heck is it? It's going to be the last card. There it is. Close. All right. Okay. This is the Nine of Swords. Nine of Air. Swords are also air. So, right away, I think that this is something they might be prone to worrying. Now, for how chill my son is, he does have the ability to worry quite a bit. And it's usually about like things that he's doing. It's kind of like an anxiety kind of a worry, like, you know, things, he has to have things planned out because he's so chill. He doesn't really like things like, you know, I think sneaking up on him too much. And I think that these kids are kind of like that in a way, like they may have some sleep issues. They may, maybe they wet the bed, night terrors. I had night terrors growing up. I still, even as an adult, there are still some things, some dreams that I have and things that happen that I'm like, you know, and that happens a lot with very intuitive kids. They, I don't know if it's just because of the denseness or like the, whatever it is, the energy that at night, I don't know exactly what it is, but things always got more active, you know, at night. As an intuitive kid, they tend to get more active at night for obvious reasons. You know, things are usually a little bit darker and quieter, and you're able to, you know, things happen more. At least you see them happening more. And I think these kids will be prone to feeling that. My son, he's very intuitive, and he's, you know, has a lot of those qualities, but especially at night, you know, he would come and get me and, you know, tell me about the lights and, you know, the orbs and the things, people that he saw, and like, you know, like I know that there's all true. These are all things that I grew up seeing, you know, and like, so I believe him, obviously, but like, I also understand how scary that is, because it's really not always understood right away. You know what I mean? Like, some things seem to be understood, but some things, like, especially things that scare them, you know, those are the things that kind of, you're having an issue with this one about. You need to be careful that they don't let these things build up too much fear. You know, if you can, in a way, try to explain them. Maybe if you've had similar situations, if you know someone who has experienced those things, talk to them so they don't think it's them, if they're weird, they're, you know what I mean? Because they do have the ability to kind of expect the worst, have these situations that will really kind of come to fruition just because it's like a self-fulfilling prophecy in a way. You know, if I think that they may have, honestly, that gift, prophecy, of being able to, the foresight to see things happening. And I think, you know what I kind of think? And my sister has this. She will have very vivid prophetic dreams at night, and some of them have been very upsetting. Like, she's told me about them, and some of them, I hope you don't mind me sharing, I'm sorry. Some of them have been very graphic, like really horrible things happening, and then, you know, but she never like knows where it's at, you know, and then something will happen on the news and it's like, oh, that's what it was. And these are very difficult type of things to have people feel. Because not only are they seeing these horrible things happen, but they're kind of powerless to do anything about it because they don't know where it is. They don't know when it's going to happen. Who the hell is going to believe them if they say something other than family? You know what I mean? So these are things these kids have to live with, and it's not easy. And I always felt very deeply when my sister would have these things happen. It's always like, ugh, because that's shitty. You know what I mean? Like, you know something's going to happen, and she's always right on with it. You know, all the you know, women in my family are, I don't know what you, very touched, what you want to call it, but we all have, my mom too, she always has prophetic dreams, and, you know, that's just how we are. But these type of dreams, these are the ones that really, I think, will shake them. They also could be past life dreams. They could be things they're remembering from lives previous. They could be how they died, who their last family was, experiences that they had. And these things aren't always great. You know, I know of quite a few ways that I've died in past lives, and it doesn't make it easier. You get to look at them differently, I think is what it is, you know. But as a child, they're scared, you know, because I don't think you're able to really separate then, because you're still you. You know, like, it's different if you go back and do past life work when you're an adult, you know, and you kind of understand that you can look from a different angle and all that stuff and see it happening, you know. But if you're, you know, a kid and this stuff is happening, it's very confusing. It's very vivid. You know, you're reliving something that you've already experienced. So it's going to be very upsetting. So we should try to be, very understanding with them. You know, I know it, you know, when you're tired and it's late and, like, you know, I get it. Momming ain't easy. It's not. But we really have to try to be as understanding as possible, because they're really, if you've never experienced it, they're pressing their faces underneath the door. If you've never experienced it, it's a really difficult and scary thing to go through. It is. So you should try to be as understanding as possible. You see? Like, I'm taking a chance just being in here in this room alone, leaving them out there to themselves, because this is like, God only knows what's going to happen in the house. Just pressing their faces underneath the door. Ridiculous. All right. Okay. So, like I was saying, I really do think that might be a gift of prophecy, if not just night terrors, things going on, especially at dark. They might have issues sleeping by themselves. My daughter, I've been having to hear about the blue man who comes to her room, and she doesn't like blue man, and it's scary. You know, it's scary. So if you hear about something from your kid, listen. Okay? Don't be like, oh, it's, you know, silly. Or if your friends or your parents, or, you know, my mom would never poo-poo it, because she knows about all that shit. But for, like, I guess a normal family, what's normal, right? You know, they might be like, oh, that's silly. That's, you know, it's not. It's not. If it can make them upset, it's not silly. All right, let's see. Ooh. I don't know why they're having me say it. It'll be a girl. Okay, because honestly, if you think about it, it's like a 50-50 shot here. So there's not like a whole lot of other options. But I don't know, if any of you were like really like, I wonder what the gender's going to be, that's for you. It'll be a girl. But only for the people, I think, that were really hell-bent on knowing a specific gender. So, told to add that. That helps you. All right. Two really beautiful cards. You got the Empress and the Star. Both major arcana cards, so powerful. Major arcana cards, they're like how I like to explain this sometimes. If you could take your life, okay? Well, I guess it would be like this. It's like a circle. And like stretch it out so it's like a big line, right? And in that line you have like markers, okay? And every marker would be one of these major cards. That marks a major time, or I guess it'd be in your life, that things happen. And then all these type of cards would happen like in between them, okay, as like descriptive. You know, like this might be the time period you're going through right now, but this stuff is determining what's going on in that time period. That's kind of how that works. So to have 2 major arcana cards is very powerful. So this, you know, along with the ability to kind of have things work out in their favor, along with the ability to prophesize and to see things and feel things and understand things that most kids can't, this child will be very gifted. Right off the bat, I think you should know this kid will be very gifted. Wow. Okay, so we'll start with the Empress because I love the Empress. Whoop! I love the Star too, but I love all. I don't know why I do. I love all tarot cards a lot. I don't know. Okay, so the Empress is abundant. She is creative as hell. She's able to give birth to anything she wants. She's very, and that's again this energy. They can create in a way that's very fruitful and very abundant. When they're creating from a medium that's very workable to them in a way that most people don't understand. They are able to almost manipulate situations, and it's hard to explain. It's like no matter what they're doing, because of how they see the situation and how they see themselves and the events and everything tied into this, and because of the creative power they know they have, it doesn't matter what they do. The only thing that matters is if it's in alignment with themselves, and if it is, there's no holding them back. These are the kids that will, once they really know where it is they're going, what they want, you know, these are the kids like, the parents are like, I knew as a 2-year-old they were going to be a professional singer when they grew up, and the rest is history. They found what they loved, what they wanted, and that was what grew to them. You know, these are the kind of kids that find what's wonderful for them, and that's what they make their life. That's, you know, and it's not that it's effortless, like they don't work, because they do. These are very driven, very strong children. So it's not that they don't work hard, it's that they have an uncanny ability to manipulate and control outcomes and put energy into things that they want to see succeed. A lot of kids are coming in, not a lot, but a lot more than usual, I would think, are coming in like this. This is one of the reasons I was so excited when someone suggested doing this, because I've been watching, and it has been changing, and it's just like the kids that are coming in now are just like, I get excited over, because I love kids. I think they're so cool. It really is just, that was one of my favorite things about being a teacher, was to see how children looked at life. You know, I think if everyone was able to look at life the way a child does, there would be a lot more happy people, because they have this innocence, and it's just, you know, it's fueled by pure intentions and love, and it's just absolutely amazing. And the kids that are coming in now, they are going to just blow the doors off of everything, everywhere. Like, it really will be the beginning, I think, of people understanding their power. And it's just like, for those of us that know it's coming, it's just like, it's like super exciting to think about. Very abundant, but very natural, very down to earth, very kind. These aren't people that are, they're still very sensitive, they're still very emotional, they're still very grounded and connected to things that they love, people that they love, places that they love, good memories. They love to remember wonderful things, and they really, you know, are kind of drawn to places. I wouldn't be surprised if, you know, these kids showed some sort of almost unnatural connection to certain places very early on. You know, some people, most people, I would imagine, are probably drawn for no reason to certain places. Vibrationally, it fits them. Maybe they had lives there. Whatever it is, that's just what they're drawn to. I would look for that. Anything that kind of emerges out of what you notice in them, introduce it. You know, if they have a certain, you know, they like to hear a certain kind of music from a certain country, or try starting them out on learning that language. See how quickly they can pick that language up. You know, those are things we should be doing with our kids. Very artistic, I think, in a way. They're very, and I think they have to be, almost in a way, to express themselves enough. Very powerful. This kid is going to be like a real different type of energy. It's almost like, and I kind of felt this in the last one too, it's almost like it's not like they don't know who they are. And it's, I don't know how to explain it. It's like they come in with this knowing of not exactly what they're doing, because I think they still have to figure out where they're going, but it's almost like they come in with this knowing of, and maybe it's because they're being put with parents that don't talk them out of their abilities. Maybe that's why it stays a knowing. Maybe that's what it is. Because sometimes I think in a lot of situations, these kids, have in years past had these abilities, and the parents go, "Oh, that's crazy," But for those of us who had parents, like myself, who encourage abilities and gifts to come out naturally. Thanks, Mom. You stay with that knowing. You stay with the knowing that there are things that you can't really understand going on, So always encourage that in your kids, really. If my mom hadn't, I would have never picked up tarot cards. And this is something like, honestly, I can't think of a whole lot of things other than like really loving to read. I guess I've been rollerblading for a while too. Music. Well, there's a few things, but tarot cards have stayed with me for, it'll be 20 years. Yeah, it'll be 20 years I've been doing tarot cards. So this has become a lifelong love, and it's all because my mother nurtured this in me. She took me to the places that I wanted to go. She took me to, metaphysical stores at a really young age, and she saw that want in me, and she nurtured it. So thanks, Mom. I love my mom. I really do. And I'm so blessed to have been put with a mom like her, and, to have a sister, and like everybody is just, I'm so thankful because so many kids are put with parents and they aren't nurtured enough, and they should be. Okay. Unnatural ability to manifest. I'm telling you, this kid, crazy. So you might, they're going to get what they want. Yeah. That's like, this is the kind of kid that like, they beg and beg for a puppy, and they want a puppy, and they want a puppy, and they want a puppy, and then you're like, no, no, no. And then the universe lets a stray dog come into your yard. Something happens. Somebody drops a dog, like something will happen. They will get that puppy. These kids are nothing to fuck with. I'm telling you, they will get that puppy. And it will be effortless and natural to them. Like, this is, you'll be taking advice from them at an early age, probably on outcomes of, smart kids. All right, the Star. The Star is such a beautiful card. It really, for all their planning and their manifesting and their, you know, kind of drawing towards them, the reason that it works, and this is kind of funny, you know, the reason that it works so well is because they know they don't have to. Makes no sense, right? Oops. Right? It makes no sense whatsoever. It's because they know that they're almost promised and destined in a way to have these things anyway, so they know if they have the want for it, they have the desire for it, it's theirs. So like I said, they come in with this supernatural knowing of things that a lot of people work a lot of years to try to understand. And these kids just seem to come in knowing it. Ugh. Okay. Sorry. Like, I was so comfortable. I have to, like, sit a certain way, or else I'm not comfortable, and then I'm, you know, I don't know, I'm not comfortable. Anyway. So, Star is just beautiful, beautiful card. They really understand that everything kind of flows back to one main thing. They understand that what they are is something incredible, but it is something incredible as a part of a whole something incredible. You know, they understand, you can see it's really kind of illustrated really great in this card. You know, they have, she's pouring here, and it's all going to the same place. Like, everything goes back to the same place eventually. You know? No matter how much it might go and move and go in different places, eventually you'll end up back as this, you know, big body of water. Like that Rumi quote. Just very guided. They're so intuitive, and they're so in tune with their inner self and their higher self, their guides, their spirit guides, their angels, their all the other beings that, you know, come along with it. Like, their whole spiritual team, I mean, they come in working with, you know, and they're just so in contact with that. They're not even, it's almost like they don't have to think about it. They understand early on, you know, the laws, you know, cause and effect and things like that. They really do get that. They're not too worried about the choices either. Like, even if, I feel like they will feel like at some times that they make the wrong decision. But even in those times, I think the conclusion they come to is, it doesn't matter. You know, because everything flows back to where it's supposed to. It all flows back to where you're supposed to be anyway. You know, where you are is where you're supposed to be no matter what. So, I think they understand that even when they make mistakes, they're kind of still gentle with themselves in a way, because they know that was an experience. Doesn't mean you're not where you're not supposed to be. It just means you had an experience there. All right, so I also picked a healing, or like it's like a what will be healing to them or what heals them, that kind of a card. And I also picked a career card just to see where the kids might be more prone to being in, like, the work environment. They got emerging, which doesn't surprise me. With all the things that they're already able to do, they're going to be unstoppable. They're really, anything that they want to learn how to do, they can do, because they will have so many gifts, not only that you notice in childhood, not only that they are seem to be born with, but once they get to a certain age, and I want to say, 11, 12, 13, okay, that is when they will really start having these emerging desires and talents and gifts to really start kind of bubbling up, and they're going to start really uncovering them. I think some of them might even be kind of afraid of them. Almost afraid of how powerful they are. For a very select, like, I mean, like, tiny portion of these kids, I feel they'll be able to actually heal plants. Me and my sister both can do that. Actually, I go to, I call it the Green Mile. And it's at Walmart. It's like the, like, plant death row, basically. That's why I call it the Green Mile. Haha, you know? And I'll buy, like, whatever dead plant they have. And it's just, like, nothing. Like, they're basically giving it away before they throw it away. So that's the plant that I'll usually buy. And all my plants were like that, you know? And I can bring them back to, you know, beautiful, and they'll be, like, absolutely gorgeous. Like, things people will be like, oh, it's dead. No, it's not dead. You can fix it. My sister is the same way, too. You know, being able to grow things in, you know, weather and times that usually they don't grow. You know, things grow. Very, but these would be far beyond what the hell I can do. Like, these would be like you'd see it heal like crazy. And I do think that they'll be kind of, and it's not scared of themselves. I think they're scared of other people. Almost like other people might be afraid of them or might judge them in a way. For how powerful they are, they are still very, they're shy around people that they're not used to. Not distrustful, just very, I think these kids can really, they can really look in somebody and know what type of a person they are pretty quickly. And when you have certain abilities like that, to actually see a person in a certain way, a certain type of person, it can be scary. Always tell them that they're special and that they are gifted, and make it sound like it is just the most amazing thing to be blessed with such abilities. Tell them that from the time they are born, since before they are born, since when they're in your stomach. Okay? We don't need them worrying about what other people think of them. And they'll be prone to do that. So. Alright. You got options. You know. Oh boy. Not really surprised about that. I mean, I kind of thought that before. You really can do anything. They can do anything they want. But it's going to depend heavily on where their heart is. You know, what is it that honestly makes them feel whole? What do they feel good about? And that is where it's going to be for them. They can do anything. Absolutely anything. That's why. Okay? That's why. That's why. When this takes place, when this takes root, when they're a little bit older, they can do anything. You know? And anything they want to do, tell them to dream bigger. Okay? Just, oh, that's what you gotta do? Well, you should even do this then. Make it even more flamboyant, even more ridiculous. These are the kids that will do it. Okay? These are the kids that, I mean, every kid, you should be shooting for the moon. I get it, okay? There's something about these type of children, you have to be doing that with, okay? And they will go farther than anyone has ever gone before. Okay, but it's all going to be from nurturing them in a way that really hones their abilities a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Know what I mean? Right? Oh, so cool. So far, like, the kids out here, like, really cool. Gifted. All right, I hope that was exciting for you. It was really exciting for me. I really, like I said, I was so excited to do this spread. If you have any ideas on a pick a card for me or any kind of a reading, let me know. Subscribe and let me know in the comments if this kind of resonated with you. If you ever felt maybe you could have a kid like this, or if you see some of these qualities in yourself that maybe passed on to your kids, let me know. I love reading about the comments. I love talking with everyone. I'm so thankful for everyone who kind of, you know, comments and shares even just a little bit of themselves with me. Like, it's such an honor to you to feel comfortable enough to share with me. And as soon as I post this, I'm going to go on and respond to everybody. I usually have that where, like, I'll make a video and then I'll take time to respond, because I don't want to, like, rush. Like, I want to take time with everyone that responds to me. So I want to give you as much time as I can. All right. I think that's about it. If you need extra help, if you need anything, I didn't suggest this to the first group, but I feel like I need to now for some reason. I'm really not one to, like, plug myself. Like, my sister's like, you need to plug yourself. And I'm like, I don't know. I feel like if people needed it, they know it's there. But for some reason, I feel like I needed to bring it up this time. I do have readings, DarlingDTarot.com, if you need them. So there's that. Otherwise, I hope you had a good reading and a good day. And I'm going to do pile number 3 now. Hi. Okay. Hi, pile number 3. All right. Who's ready to see what kind of kids they're going to have? Ooh. Oh, another dream person. Cool. Very cool. All right, so it's going to be the same kind of general thing I usually do, except I am doing also a career card this time, because I figured that would be kind of a cool thing to know what your kid might be a little bit more predisposed to growing up and doing. So, kind of cool. Let's see. They're both so wonderful. Oh, I love both of these. So I don't know what to start with yet. We'll start with this one. All right. Absolutely one of my most favorite kings in the whole deck. Absolutely love him. King of Earth, which would be the King of Pentacles. Master manifester, abundant in every area, just lover of life, nature lover, grounded, wise, just loves life. You know what I mean? Just happy to be alive and experiencing things. Love, love, love the King of Pentacles. I do. You know, he's very happy being outside. Feels very fresh, like almost like grounded, yes, but vibrationally aligned in a way that's very comforting. I think you're going to notice these kids like to be outside. They like to be rolling around in the dirt. They like to be, you know, touching grass. I grew up this way. I loved being outside, rolling around in my yard, looking for bugs and just touching grass and putting my feet in water and the mud and, like, popping tar bubbles. And, like, I loved to be outside doing stuff like that. You know, that was just, you know, when it was rainy and I had to be stuck in the house and it was like, you know, even when it was raining, I would have gone out and played, you know. these kids love to be outside. And you'll notice if you watch their... What the hell that was? Ow. That's weird. Okay. You'll notice that their demeanor changes. Like if they're having like a really, like they're all over the place, send them outside. Okay. And then when they come back in, watch how their demeanor is. I guarantee you they'll be calmer. They'll be more content. They'll be happier. You know, these kids will really do well from being outside. Okay. So even if it's just stopping at the park, my daughter, we go to the park every week. You know, at least once with my grandfather. We meet there at the park. It's our thing we do. And then we'll go to the park, just us or with friends, or like, we go to the park a lot. We spend a lot of time at the park. Different parks, not just one park, but she needs that. She needs, because she's very, you know, so when she comes home, she feels like relaxing, which is nice. Because otherwise she's, you know, everywhere. Very successful. You know, they're very much from a young age able to learn by observing. They're able to watch people in a way where they can almost like soak up their knowledge, soak up how they've done things, soak up how they shouldn't have done things, you know, and when they really have an area that they're trying to grow in, this is what they do. It's almost like they will study them. They'll study either a person or a thing, maybe a sport or a, you know, whether it's a song or a dance or a certain technique, whatever it is that they're focused on, they will study this thing and they learn it in a way that's very, it's mastery. That's how these kids learn. They learn through mastery. They learn through doing it. You know, these King of Pentacles, I love him because he has what he has because he has honestly worked his ass off for it. Okay? You know, the other kings are very, ooh. I don't know who that is. Calm down. Shit. You know, the other kings, you know, are all wonderful and they all have these great qualities about them, but these are things that they were kind of just given. They were born with. I mean, yeah, they accumulated some of these things over the years. I don't just, if you read tarot, calm down. I'm not trying to poo-poo any other kings. The King of Pentacles is somebody who has really worked hard. They've had to do it themselves in a way. I mean, they probably had mentors, but this is somebody who's really from the ground up built themselves. And it took a while, you know? They're confident. They're practical. They're able to see things in a way that's not too emotionally charged. I think they're intuitive, you know, and they can feel if something's good for them. But I think they're also able to kind of detach and look at things from a perspective that's very non-emotional. You know, it'll be, how will this benefit me? How will I grow? How will I learn? You know, will it be good for me right now? They're very responsible. I think even at a young age, they'll be responsible to a way that's, like, they might even have better skills at, you know, self-mastery than some 20 and 30-year-olds. You know, these kids will seem very dedicated to what they do. And while it might be to kid things, you know, it will still be kind of noticeable to grown-ups. I think grown-ups will really be like, wow, they're very immersed in that, what they're doing there, and they seem to know a lot about it. Like, I have you know, my daughter, we have play dates every week with a little boy, and he's little, He's my daughter's age, and he can tell you, like, dinosaur name. I can't even pronounce these things. Like, these dinosaur names, I'll be like, what is that? He'll be like, Digabrosaurus. Like, and he'll be like, have this whole word, and I'm like, I can't even say it. And he knows, and I'll, like, look it up, and sure as hell, it's that kind of a dinosaur, and it's just like, how do you know that? Like, it's nuts, you know, but that's what this is. These are the kind of kids that are very, when they take to something and something resonates with them, they learn it, you know, and they could stick with learning it. They could, you know, they could stick with wanting to learn something else. They're the kind of people that, you know, whatever they're learning, they're going to learn the most they can, and they'll either stay learning it or they'll move on to something else and get really good at that. You know, self-made, but self-made with the Midas touch, because they'll always be successful. And it's because of how hard they work. Very cool. Nine of Water. Nine of Water is Nine of Cups. Nine of Cups is a wish card. Everybody, you know, when it comes to, you know, getting a tarot reading, there are certain cards that, you know, you get in people's eyes, whether they know tarot or not, they just light up. You know, and Nine of Cups is definitely one of them. It's almost as good as the Ten of Cups. Some people would think it is, or even better. Or, you know, I think it's just a matter of timing for both of them. They're the same thing, just timing's off. I think 10 is more of a completion. But, you know, Nine of Cups is any wish that you had fulfilled. You know, what is your wish? What did you wish on? What if you had a, I don't know if anyone else wishes on stars. I love watching for, like, shooting stars and trying to catch wishes. Like, I think that's something I could do all night long. I love doing it. I'm actually, me and my sister are talking, we're going to go, she lives out in Colorado, and we're going to go do a, like, a star thing at night where you go and you, like, watch stars, because they have, like, places out there where, like, there's no light. So, I mean, the stars you can see is just, like galaxies, you know, just, like, looking at galaxies. So we're going to go and we're going to do that. So I'm super excited about it. But these kids, that's almost like what they do. It's like they think to themselves, I really want that. That's what I want. And they have, like, these wishes. And because they have this isn't just wishful thinking, okay? No. It's wishful thinking, but it's with the attitude to get the shit done. Okay, so these are going to be the kids that, if they have a dream, if they have something that they're wanting to do, they're going to do it. Like, and it's going to amaze everyone. Maybe not, you know, you as a parent, because I think you'll always know how incredible they are. They're definitely just, they're a lover of life. I think just to be alive, these kids are very, they're, like, already winning. You know, you ever, like, it's awesome to wake up and be grateful, and I really try to practice that. So, you know, you wake up and you're really feeling it that day. Like, you're just like, just to open my eyes is a gift. You know what I mean? That's these kids. These kids are just like, I got up, I ate some food, maybe I watched a cool show, maybe I went outside for a little bit. You know, like, whatever it is, like, to them, it's like, shit's great. You know, I don't think they really will get along or resonate very well with people who are very, like, ugh, I only got this done, or I only had this, or I only got to do this, or they won't hang around a lot of people like that. You know, they're going to hang around people who, like, I got to do this, and then I did this for a little, like, how people look at things will really matter to this kid, because you know, I could see them being a surfer, like, kind of like a surfer kid, just like to be outside, just, like, real mellow, and, you know, just enjoying life, just riding the waves, just that kind of mellow, you know, and that's great. But that's going to be mixed with this, like, really hardworking attitude. Like, that's like a killer combination. to have like that kind of attitude, but that kind of like work ethic, that's crazy. Like they're going to do whatever they want to do, and it's just going to be like a dream come true for them. It's nuts. They aren't concerned with a whole lot of things because they know if they work hard enough, it'll work out. So they really don't concern themselves with things that take away their happiness. Okay, I heard, for some of you, again, if, like, I had this with the last one, I think it was with, you know, if it was a girl or not, or a boy. It was a girl. For those of you who really are, like, hell-bent on knowing the astrological sign, Capricorn. So just, and this will be just a couple, just for the people that are considering what the exact astrological sign, Capricorn. Not, you know, that I'm told that is the exact question, okay? So that's the exact thing. So whenever Capricorn is, there you go. That's important. No idea why. That's up to you to figure out. I'll just leave you with that. Good luck. Just very, go with the flow, mellow. Very cool. All right, let's see. Oh, very mellow. They, right away, I don't even know which one to start with. They're kind of like the same thing. Four of Swords and the Hermit. The Hermit, awesome dude. He is somebody who is, it's your inner knowing, your inner guidance. It's that inner wise person that kind of leads your way. He's got the lantern. Gray also always deals with wisdom. Anytime you see gray, usually, especially in a like an old-fashioned type of tarot, like this kind is probably the most like basic tarot. You know what I mean? Most recognizable symbols, and these type of things. Gray, the color gray indicates wisdom. So even in cards, I don't know if this has it. I don't have any right here. Cards that have like clouds and you see gray in those clouds, like a pronounced gray, that's a symbol for wisdom being within that card. So if you're trying to learn tarot cards, just looking at colors is another great way to break down the symbolism behind the cards. Every card may have 30 meanings hidden inside of it, which is why I thought they were so cool and drawn to them, because that kind of stuff has always like really fascinated me. Like even like Masonic stuff, you know, like they have a whole system of things that have meanings, but behind those meanings are meanings with meanings. And you know, to know one meaning, you need to know 5 or 6. So it's pretty cool, and I've always been really interested in stuff like that. But that's what this is. This is an inner knowing. These are knowing things that truths, knowing things that maybe a lot of people don't know, but it's because they're so in touch with themselves. These kids are going to be kids that are going to be able to kind of sit and just look at things, maybe sit outside in nature and just kind of listen to birds, look at butterflies, just chill. Maybe they're surfers. They're just like sitting in the water, just chilling. You know, they're able to have, and it's not like that these kids are like sitting there in like their lotus position, like that's not what I'm saying. Like these kids are naturally meditating. Like they're just naturally doing this. Like they don't have to put themselves into this kind of state. They're in that state already because they're so usually wrapped up in things that speak to them, whether it's nature, whether it's doing things they love to do, whether it's working hard towards what they want. You know, they're very in touch with what drives them, what motivates them, what is guiding them. You know, he has in here, it's a little star, you know, and that's what he is. He's a light bearer. He's a light shower. That's what the Hermit is. He's a teacher. Very experienced. They learn a lot by experience. And they use this experience. They never think any of it is wasted. Nothing is wasted time to them. Oh, I hear her crying. Oh, boy. Four of Swords. Four of Swords, again, someone who is, you know, kind of resting. So these, I think they're people who are very mellow. They're just very, they're able to wait. They're able to, you know, kind of just chill and just wait for the right time. Their mind, I think, is very even. If that's a, I don't know if that's a good way to describe it. Very sharp. My grandfather says stuff like that. Sharp. It's a very sharp outfit. Anybody else's parents or grandparents talk like that? Their mind is very not overloaded. It's like it almost like it's regulated. Like it gets to a certain point and then they go into like a quiet mode. So this, it leads me to believe that them being able to retreat back into things that light them up, you know, whether it is surfing or being outside or, you know, whatever area it is they're trying to study, that is going to be where they go, I think, especially when things are kind of cluttered in their brain. You know, if they kind of have a lot in their mind, the way these kids are going to work is that they're going to really kind of dive and put themselves in positions that allows them to be in their most natural state. So any kind of activity or place, environment that's very natural to them, they are going to run to, especially if there's any kind of mental exhaustion, anything that really wears on them mentally, I think. Belief systems, ideas, thoughts, thought patterns, these things are all going to be dealt with in a very either meditative way, where they're just kind of sitting and thinking and just allowing and, you know, doing it that way, or it's going to be done in a very physical way where they're physically working through these things and working towards something and getting that energy out that way. But it's almost like a coping, I guess, mechanism in a way. We're going to get to, all right. This one makes me smile because I always, you know, this was one of my things I had, you know, I always know I work well with kids. I love kids. They're our future, honestly. Like there's no other, you want to invest in your future, invest in children. Because, you know, that's where the thing is going to next, is kids. So it makes sense to invest in them, right? You know, it blows my mind that there aren't more things for children. There aren't more resources. There are more, like, I don't know. That could be a whole other video itself. Anyway, their life purpose is for helping, teaching, healing children. They're either, maybe they'll be very, maybe they'll be leading them. I feel like they might end up doing something that actually professionally impacts children. And animals. Children and animals. So, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised maybe later on, too. I'm just feeling now maybe they have, as they get older, they have more of a vegetarian, even a vegan lifestyle. That wouldn't surprise me at all. I feel like they might eat that way. And I think just because of the heaviness, I think that they feel when they eat otherwise, I think it doesn't agree with their vibrational signature, and I think they realize how much it hinders them. You know. Like I'm past the line. I don't even try anymore. Like if it's not vegan, I can't. Like I think every vegan gets to that point too, where it's like you might every once in a while try, and then you get to a point where you're just like, no, because I didn't, originally go vegan because just for I love animals. Don't get me wrong. That's like my dream thing is I'm gonna have an animal sanctuary, but like that wasn't why I went vegan. I went vegan because I like literally physically had to. They wanted to cut organs out of me, like like I went vegan because I had to, because I was in physical pain. And being that way, you really do notice a vibrational difference in how you think, in how you act, in how you feel, in how you look. I mean, I do modeling, and I'm like, I just went for a fitting the other day, and I mean, I'm showing up there, and there's girls that are like literally half my age, and I hold my own, you know what I mean? Like, so that's pretty incredible, and it's, like, I'm pretty excited about it, because that means more work for me, but, I'm saying, like, you feel it. You feel, like, a vibrational change from eating that way, and certain people that works for, these type of kids, how they are vibrationally, that will be very, very appealing to them. So I wouldn't be surprised if they had something to do with kids. Dreams. Okay, dreams are really cool. A lot of the people in my family, the women in my family have these prophetic dreams. Sometimes they're great. Sometimes they're everyday stuff. Sometimes they can be kind of, harsh. I know I was talking, was it in the last one, I think, the last pile, might have been the first one. I can't keep track anymore. My sister, I was telling about my sister who has, sometimes pretty heavy prophetic dreams. It's not always fun, these things, these gifts that, people have. Sometimes they're shitty, especially if you see things you don't want to see. But those are things that may be happening. They might be able to do a lot of dream work. They might take to that very easily. They might just know things because of their dreams. They might go, we go places when we dream. We'll go learn, go visit, go experience. We do all sorts of stuff when we dream, Sometimes we go to the retreats, we go to their, wherever you're from, your soul, whatever, you go back there and visit. And they may be very into that. They may be very aware of it. And I think they help them a lot. I wouldn't be surprised if they are very, very good at lucid dreaming. And that is like, that's cool. If you've not done lucid dreaming, work into that. It's a process. You really have to work at it to do it. But once you do, and you're able to get that keyword or that key image there, so I'm dreaming. You can do whatever you want. Whatever you want. All right. Very cool. That's a cool thing to do. I really do think that maybe they'll get dreams, not so much of the scary prophetic dreams, but more ideas. I think that they'll be given ideas, given knowledge, given, secrets or I see like, it's like energy, like light coming. So downloads, I guess. They're being infused with like light, like it's going into their head. And it seems like the whole time you're dreaming, this is what's going on. And it's very, there's a reason. Like it helps them do things. I don't know if it helps them create whatever this is. I don't know if it, you know, it helps fuel the ideas for this. It's very important to them. Dream states, dream work is going to be very important to these kids. Whatever they tell you they dream about, remember it. Do a dream journal for your kid. Any dream they tell you, write it down. Be interesting. All right. I hope that was able to help somebody. I really thank you so much. If you're the one that suggested this, thank you so much. That was so much fun. I've not ever done a reading like that for somebody's future kid. So and I've done a lot of readings. So to do that one was pretty cool. I always like, you know, seeing readings that I'm not used to doing because it like makes things, you know, different. I like different. All right. If you have an idea for a pick a card or just a reading in general, let me know. If you're not subscribed, you need to subscribe. I only take subscriber submission requests, so make sure you subscribe, like, comment, let me know what you thought of this. Let me know if you have any of these powers or what you noticed in yourself. I really love reading about everyone's comments, and I'm so thankful for everyone who's here, and I can't believe I'm building my own little tribe. So thank you so much. I think that's it. I'm going to get this all uploaded, and I hope you enjoy. Bye.